Hey guys, welcome into my channel. My name is Carrie. Today we're going to be trying the new candy shop collection from Juvia's Place. I'm actually super excited to try this collection. It just arrived in the mail today. It does come with one eyeshadow palette and it comes with 5 different lip glosses. So I did pick up the whole collection. I definitely want to swatch the whole palette. I want to do a try on of the lip products and just play around with probably 2 different eye looks. So let's hop right into it. Okay, I've zoomed you in. I definitely want to talk about the palette a little bit more and then do some swatches. So here is the outer packaging. I've actually never seen like a box, I don't think, for any Juvia's Place eyeshadow palettes, but I'm a huge fan of their eyeshadows in general. The formula is just so good. They're so long lasting, they're vibrant. I mostly love like all of the curations that they come out with. So this is a 16 pan palette. Here is the inside. It does not come with a mirror, but it has the same design on the inside carton as the outer packaging. It is described as a special combination of bubblegum pinks and blues. It appears to have 6 mattes. It has 9 shimmers, and then this one in the corner here is like a matte with sparkles in it. It says on the outer carton that the 12 of the shades are pressed pigments and then 4 of the shades are eyeshadows. This does have a 24-month shelf life and this was made in the USA. And this does retail for $26. Okay, let's talk about these glosses. So they're swirled, like each of them has a swirl in their design. And I don't know if that's like part of the gloss or if that's like the inner packaging. I'm not sure, but we will definitely find out when we start swatching these. So they come in 5 different shades. This one is in the shade Neapolitan, and it's like a brown and peach swirl. This one is in the shade Bubblegum, and this is more of like a burnt red with a pink swirl. This one is in Cocoa Milo, and it's like tan and brown swirl. And this one is Strawberry and Cream. And it has like 3 different colors, like a darker pink, a lighter pink, and like a orangey red. And the final one is Pineapple Pearl. This one is the only one that seems to have like shimmers or glitters in it. It has orange and pink and maybe like a hint of gold shimmers is kind of what it looks like. We will definitely be swatching them and doing lip swatches on all of the lip products. I actually went to the website and saw these as standalone and I almost rebought them and I was like, wait, are these part of the candy shop collection? Because I knew that it was already on its way. And so I was like, okay, take those out of the cart. And each of these actually does retail for $12. I did purchase the whole collection from the Juvia's Place website and it does retail for $86. So I'm gonna start swatching from left to right and then go top to bottom on each of these rows. This first one actually feels like just a topper shade. It didn't have a lot of base to it. Even though it seems to have like a shift, if I turn it this way, you can almost see like a really strong pink base. But when it's facing this way, it's almost like a gold or orange shift. It's almost like a duochrome. This shade here is the matte that had a little bit of shimmers in it. Here is the pink shimmer shade. Oh, that is really vibrant. Pinks are already staining my fingers. Here is the blue shimmer. When I'm looking at this closer, there are 2 more shades that actually appear to have like sparkles in them or shimmers. This shade in the corner and then this brown one down here at the bottom. They're very buttery. That's the light pink shade. So it's pretty light on my skin tone. That's almost like a purple shimmer. This is like a bubblegum pink shade. The blue matte. That's swatched okay. This one is the peach shimmer that feels like, this is like a shade that I would love. This one almost looks like a duochrome too. It's the same thing, like it has a really champagne shift to it, but it looks like it kind of has a peach base. This is the darker neon pink shade. This is a matte. This one is like a swirled pink and blue shimmer. Okay, starting over here, this is like the teal shimmer. Oh, look at that, it's so beautiful. This is a orange matte shade. This is another like pink shimmer, but it has a pretty strong base. Like it's definitely a deeper shimmer and almost looks like it has a shift from like pink to red. This actually looks like a purple, like a very muted kind of purpley shade that I called brown before. And this is the final shimmer, which is like an icy blue that almost looks like it has kind of a green shift. I actually do have my base on and my eyebrows. I did use the new Juvia's Place Natural Radiance Foundation. I'm still testing it out. I definitely think this is a lighter shade than I would normally go for, which I did say in like my dedicated video of this. So if you are interested in this foundation, I will also link that video down below. But it doesn't have as much radiance as I thought it was going to have. I think it's more of a satin matte foundation. And because I have dry skin, it was looking a little dry on my wear test. And I did about 6 hours that day. And so this time I actually mixed it in with some facial oil. I just used my Drunk Elephant Luxury Facial Oil. And I actually think it looks a lot better. I think it looks like a lot more natural and skin-like, and I wouldn't say that it's radiant, but I mean it does have like a decent amount of medium coverage, and it's a pretty long-lasting formula. So I'm still testing it. I kind of like it, but yeah, I wouldn't use it without pairing it with a facial oil if you have dry skin. I think I want to do like one bubblegummy pink look and then definitely one blue. It only has one matte blue in this palette, so it makes a little bit of a difficult decision for making an all blue eye look. So I think I'll have to kind of pair it with another one of the pinks and see how that comes out. First, I'm gonna prime my eyes with my Juvia's Place eyeshadow primer. This is so full coverage, and a little bit goes such a long way that you actually don't need like a lot with this primer. This is such a like thick, full coverage primer. It's like my favorite like full coverage eyeshadow primer for when I'm like going for a really vibrant look. Okay, let's move into the eyes. I'm gonna take this really bubblegummy pink shade and use it as a transition shade on my first eye. I think that I want to take this more neon pink and use it in the crease. I'm gonna actually take a shimmer in the outer corner. I'm gonna take this one right here and build it up in the outer corner. I need to play with this, I think. I actually ended up going into this matte, like it's a shimmery matte shade for the outer corner, because I just don't think this color right here, the shimmer here, had enough base to it. And so I layered the matte on top of it, and I think it actually gave it a little bit of depth, but I kind of like the shimmer that is kind of underneath this matte, because I still think it's like peeking through. And that's such a glittery, like sparkly shimmer shade that I am getting a little bit of like, just like silver glitter fallout with no actual pigment. I think I want to deepen up the outer corner even more. And I'm gonna take another like shimmer shade. I'm gonna take this one right here and like continue to deepen it up because I just want it a little bit deeper. I actually deepened up the outer corner with this like shimmery matte here. It's that like deeper purple shade. Okay, so I ended up taking this on the lid and then using this shade here in the corner as a topper. Maybe the look isn't like revolutionary, and there is like a little bit of fallout to these shimmer shades for sure. Like there's a lot of extra glitter without them like having a huge amount of base to them. And so there's quite a bit of fallout happening, but I think that they blend beautifully together. So I think I'm actually gonna take like that bubblegum shade and do all of the lower lash line. And then that deeper purple shade kind of in the outer corner, just to deepen it up just a little bit. So let's go into the next eye. I'm gonna take this one as a transition shade. It's just a light pink shade, but I don't see a really good, better shade for a transition for the blue, and I do want something. And I think these will actually like look good together. And going into the only matte blue in this palette, which is this one right here. Focus this kind of in like the outer corner because I can tell that this one is really staining. And I'm just gonna continue to like build up the depth of this into the crease. So I'm actually going to take two of the shimmer shades. I'm going to start with this more teal one and then deepen it up with this one. And we're just going to do full shimmers in the outer corner. I honestly wish this had like a darker blue matte, because a lot of these shimmers just don't have like a really strong base to them. They don't have a whole lot of pigmentation like past their glitter. In fact, like when it's translating to the brush, this shade is actually almost more pigmented than this darker blue. The darker blue almost has like more shimmer and less pigment than this teal shade, because this one is actually a pressed pigment and this one is actually an eyeshadow. So I'm getting more pigmentation like from the eyeshadows than I am the pressed pigments. I'm getting like a lot of fallout from the pressed pigments. And it's actually quite common for Juvia's Place to do like a mixture of both pressed pigments and eyeshadows. I don't know if the Nubian 3 Coral palette actually is an all eyeshadow palette. I don't think they have pressed pigments in there, but I could be wrong on that one. It's just that if I remember correctly, that was all eyeshadows. But yeah, Juvia's Place tends to do like a combination of pressed pigments and eyeshadows in like most of their palette formulations. And so I can just tell that the ones that are pressed pigments just don't have, like I said, a lot of base to them. And so it is difficult to kind of build up depth with an all blue look. That's just the most like unfortunate part of like working with this palette so far. I'm gonna take that teal shade and start building up the outer corner, because I just don't think that that deeper blue is gonna give me enough like pigment. And then I'm taking that matte blue shade and going the rest of the way. I feel like I want to sit here and keep building this up. Like this is not as dark outer corner as honestly that I would normally go for. But yeah, just adding more shimmer isn't like deepening it up. And I definitely want to go into this lightest blue shimmer all over the lid. A lot of fallout on this one. Yeah, there's just a lot of glitter everywhere. Okay. So those are the two completed eye looks. It looks kind of funny looking back in the mirror. I'm going to throw on some of my Tower 28 mascara, and then we're going to come back and we are going to do some live swatches of the lip glosses, and then we will do some lip swatches as well. Okay, I just turned my fan on, so I'm sorry if you guys can hear it. Let's do some swatches on these. So this first one is in Bubblegum. And let's swatch this. So again, this was something where I said like I wasn't sure if this is like on the packaging, but no, it's like not. It's swirled in there like this, so I can kind of like move the product around and mess up the swirl. So let's swatch this one. Oh wow, these are like opaque. That one there is Bubblegum. That one is Bubblegum. They say that this is a new lip gloss collection, offers 5 different rich, buttery, and fabulously creamy glosses to choose from. The Candy Butter Gloss gives a non-sticky, luscious, high shiny finish to the lips, making them appear plumper. It glides on richly glossy and smooth while providing long wear. I do know that Juvia's Place glosses are like honestly some of my favorites. They're usually a thicker gloss and they do have a pretty high shine, but they are very long lasting. This does just have like a very thin doe foot applicator. On some of Juvia's Place's other glosses that are a little bit smaller, they have usually a large doe foot applicator, and this one doesn't. And this, it has like definitely a scent to it. I would say that they were probably trying to like mimic bubblegum in the way that they scented this, but these are not just like gloss toppers. These have like a lot of pigment to them. The next one that we'll try on is the Chocomilo one, and hopefully I'm saying that correctly. I'm gonna try and kind of like swirl this around a little bit so we get more than one color. This is a beautiful like rich brown shade. The thing about Juvia's Place is like they're pretty inclusive. Like you don't usually worry that they would put out a collection that wouldn't work for a multitude of skin tones. So I think this would be good on like a variety of different skin tones. So this one was the Choco Milo one. Yeah, and they're just really thick and really creamy, but not sticky. I just love their gloss formulation. All right, let's try the next one. That one like even had kind of the same scent. All right, here's the next one. This is Strawberry and Cream. And this one looks like almost a pinky orange. There is that one. That one is really vibrant. Honestly, I don't know if I would call that one, like this isn't exactly what color I would think of when I was thinking of Strawberries and Cream. Like I would almost think that the swirls would be, like it would have like the strawberry color, like a red color, and then like white, more white than this really light pink. And this is almost like, it's almost an orange. And of course it's on my fair skin, but like it is almost kind of an orange. And it's not exactly what I think of when I think of Strawberries and Cream, but it is beautiful. It's just a really vibrant, almost like orange shade. So let's try the next one. These are almost like staining my lips. Like they're so thick, they're almost hard to get off. Let's go into the one that's called Neapolitan. This is almost like a mauvey brown shade. Yeah, I think that Strawberries and Cream one like stained my lips a little. They're just really pigmented glosses. I feel like that one definitely has like a different scent. Like I almost want to say flavor than the other ones. Like almost actual Neapolitan ice cream, maybe, is kind of like what I'm getting from this one. This one is like one that's like kind of similar to my lip color, so it almost looks like a little muted, but this is pretty. Like this one isn't a real like everyday true gloss. Okay, let's go into this last one. My wet wipe here is a hot mess, so don't judge. There's almost like no getting all of the gloss off. Like it still has a good amount of tack to it. All right, this one is called Pineapple Pearl. This is the one that had like quite a bit of like sparkles in it. Yeah, I think they're all scented differently. This one is just a very peachy gloss, but this one I can actually see like the shimmer particles in it. I swear these are all like scented differently. I could be crazy. Kind of how they smell. Like they were each kind of meant to go along with their name. This one has like a lot less pigment on my lips, so I can definitely tell that there are some shades here that would work for a variety of skin tones that are really pigmented, but some that would work really good for people with light skin tones, and then some that would actually work really well for people with darker skin tones, which is good when you're launching a line like this. So I really do like the variety of the glosses in here. Like I'm not mad at this. I just think that they're really, really comfortable. They're just a really, really thick gloss, and I know that if they're similar to their other formula, they're really long lasting. So I enjoy those. I don't know if I needed like the entire collection, but they just look so beautiful that even when I was like going back on Ulta, when I told you I almost bought them again, I was like, oh my gosh, which ones do I get? And then I started to add 3 different ones to my cart before I was like, wait a second, I already have these coming to me. So I think that they're beautiful. I hope that the lip swatching kind of helped you for someone that's, you know, fair skinned, that you can kind of see like you can get a variety from these. Like you have a more mauve-y, a couple, 2 of them that are a little bit more brown in color, like that's how they translate to the lips, and like one that is a super punchy, almost orangey reddish pink, and then one that's almost more of a kind of clear gloss, like that just doesn't have like a huge amount of pigmentation to it. So hopefully that was helpful. Let's talk about the palette a little bit. So I drew from mostly the pinks in this side. What I liked about the pinks though was that they had like deeper shades, even though they weren't fully matte. You do have one that's matte, right? And then one that's shimmer that actually built up depth in the outer corner, because I'm actually somebody that likes to build up depth in my outer corner. I don't really like one and done. I definitely like when shades have like a transition, a depth to them. And I also think you could pull from the oranges, which I really wanted to do, but because this was the candy shop, because they talked about this palette being a mixture of blues and bubblegum pinks, I wanted to stay with the pinks as much as I could. But I was super tempted to draw from the yellows, like using this as a transition shade and then deepening it up with this one and then pulling this one onto the lid. I really, really wanted to do that, but I wanted to stay with the pinks, like I said. And then the blues, I am slightly disappointed that they did not have a deeper blue matte shade, because I like mattes. I like mattes, using them as transitions. I did use this shade as a transition. I don't think it really did anything, but I wanted more depth in the blue, and these two were just not pulling it in for me. Like this one was pulling it in more than this one, and I think that has something to do with like the pressed pigment formula, that they just don't have a whole lot of base to them, which is something that I kept saying, that they're a lot more sparkle. And I was getting a ton of fallout on the pressed pigment shades. I don't think that this is a bad palette. I think that when I'm looking at this, I'm like, all right, cool. Which shades can I grab for an everyday look? And I actually think you could pull off an everyday look with this. I think this is a light enough transition shade that you could pull it in, like some of these ones here, everyday look. These actually, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe even those 4 shades for an everyday look. As like a blue palette that I would reach for, like an actual palette that I would draw the blues from, it's probably not going to be this one, because it's just missing a matte blue shade. So my wrap up is great for a pink look. I like it for pink. I wish it had one deeper matte shade in the pink department, and I wish it had one more matte blue shade, because there's 3 shimmers to 1 blue matte. And so I don't think I got the blue look that I was really, really hoping for. I will say that I love Juvia's Place quality so much that I just buy their palettes as kind of a collector. I don't buy them all the time, not every single launch, but this one was really cute and I really wanted to get my hands on it and add it to my collection. Do you need to run out and grab this? I mean, it's cute, right? Like it's cute. Like I like it. I like the candy shop. I like the packaging. I think the quality is really good. I definitely think the pressed pigments are going to give you like a lot of extra glitter and fallout. Do I think you could use this as a standalone blue palette if that's something that you wanted to do? I mean, probably not. If you wanted to mix some of the blues and pinks together to create like a blue and pink look, you definitely could do that. I wanted to like just kind of keep the look separate today to see what I could create out of this palette, but it might be something that I try in the future, but just didn't today because I kind of wanted to see what depth I could get out of this. So yeah, again, if you're looking to draw just an all blue look, this is probably not going to be the palette that you do it with. And I don't think you need every single gloss, but I love these glosses. I mean, Juvia's Place is out here selling glosses at $12 and there's quite a bit of it, and they give you something that I think are kind of unique, which is that swirl, where, you know, a lot of other companies that even sell at Ulta are out here selling their glosses at like $25. So I think affordability, Juvia's Place still has it. I'd like to see that they stay in the affordability price range. I'm just never mad at like their quality. The color story is the only thing that I would say that I had a little bit of criticism on the palette. I definitely think having like these swirls and it being like something that they meticulously like put into the gloss was actually really cool and kind of unique. And for 12 bucks, I don't know, Givenchy did it for 36, so, and you get more product in this. So overall, I'm pretty pleased with my purchase. I hope my review and 2 looks that I created was helpful. I hope you hit that like and subscribe button. I hope you leave me a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this collection, and if you're interested in picking any of the items up. I hope you're having a wonderful new year, you guys, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.